Hello there, beautiful people. My name is Rafael from Visions of Rafael, and today I'm here with you with a little bit of a different video, because back in the day we've either done like makeup videos or like more creative-esque videos, or just, I guess, where we just talk, and now I have one where we just talk. But the thing that makes this different is because I actually wrote a script, because with this one I actually feel like I really wanted to be prepared with what I wanted to say and what I wanted to spread out into the world and to you who's watching, because I think it's quite important. And sadly, I already tried to film the video once while doing my makeup, but sadly that was just way too much, because I find the subject that I'm talking about very interesting and very important. And I have ADHD, so it's also kind of hard for me to have like two focus points. And normally when I'm just talking out of spirit and out of myself, then I don't really have a really hard time with like doing my makeup and talking, but still a little chaotic. So I was like, okay, let's try this differently. So then I was like, okay, let's do my makeup beforehand. So then yesterday I tried to do my makeup. Suddenly, the video is about authenticity, you know, about just being true to who you are, being happy with who you are, blah, 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 blah. And then this is the exact video where I feel insecure and I feel sad and I hate everything that I put on. I feel ugly in every single thing that I put on. I don't even know what I want anymore, because I am so focused on what the opinion might be. So it's like kind of, I don't know, really frustrating. Yesterday I eventually just really I had to put myself into my bed and really just get myself. It's also the new moon coming up, so that could also be a part of it, because the energy is a lot to deal with. I even had it today with putting on this outfit. So this makeup and this outfit is legit just me saying, you know what, I give up. Like, I still don't think I look very good, but I think I look decent enough. Like, I look pretty. I have a pretty little dress on, and then corset, and then the shirt on top, and I think it's cute, it's pretty, but it's not. I would want something else, but for some reason I'm not feeling anything right now. So then I'll just take that as a sign of the universe, and I'll just not look into it too much. Okay, but so basically, hello, this video is about authenticity. And I think you, as yourself, know the best what authenticity is and what it means. And authenticity is also just hard. It takes really a lot of day-to-day work and observation and or just literally acceptance. I feel like there's many ways to go about authenticity, of course, because it's about what makes you you. And I'm doing this video because I think it's an extremely interesting subject, and it's something that I like to focus on a lot because it brings a lot of joy and happiness and fulfillment into my life. Look at the owl, that's so cute. Okay, I'll just like leave. Yeah, okay. But then at the same time, then this is the one video where I have a really hard time. So I really want to make sure that you know that I'm making this video out of the study of authenticity and the interest of it that I have in it, and what I've observed so far. But I'm still okay. But I'm still like quite a long way of feeling as authentic as I can, and I would say that I feel very authentic and very true to who I am. But then at the same time, I oftentimes really don't even know who I am, so I don't even know what it is that I'm being true to, you know. If you came here for a certain part of the video, you can always look in the timestamps. I think it's about here. You can check in this line here and see what it is that you're looking for, and otherwise let's get into it. So I have a script, so if you see me looking to this side, it's because I have written down an entire script, and I'm gonna try my best because it's the first time that I'm doing something like this. So first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to look up the definition of authenticity with you, so that we both have a very clear idea of what authenticity even means and at its core. I'm filming with my phone. That is so frustrating. Okay, so I now officially have internet. Exactly when I said it, the Wi-Fi turned on. That's kind of... Okay. What do we mean by authenticity on Google? By the way, opinion, the search engine for Google has become horrible. Every single time I look up a question, back in the day, I could look up anything and the answer would just be there, you know? And now when I look up something, it's like, today I looked up, why do bees, why are these bees on these leaves? And then it just takes bees leaves and it's like, eat leaves, or like, flies around leaves. I'm like, no, very specifically, it's sitting on a leaf, and now it doesn't want to look that up. It's so extremely annoying. So yeah, you can't find anything on Google these days unless you have to be very patient. Authenticity. What do we mean by authenticity? Put simply, authenticity means you're true to your own personality, values, and spirit, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. You're honest with yourself and with others. And then this one, because I already read this the first time that I tried to film this video. And you take responsibility for your mistakes. I don't know if that really fits in with authenticity. I feel like that has more to do with like, yeah, I feel like that has more to do with integrity rather than authenticity. Because I feel, but of course, like integrity is still a beautiful quality to have. But I feel like to say that authenticity is to take responsibility for your mistakes, I do not think that is per se, it's not how I see it, but that's okay, but whatever. So yeah, you're true to your own personality, values, and spirit, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. I find that one very interesting, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. And yeah, so I feel like this is a good like stepping stone to get into the video. So basically, the first thing that I wanted to like start with is basically that like it really depends. It's really relative, person to person, how much allowance we have to authenticity, how much access we have to authenticity, because most of us are quite limited in the amount that we can experience, and especially from a young age, what we're born into. And then depending on who you grow into and what kind of path you follow, it really depends as well. Like, because I feel like regardless of any situation, at some point, authenticity, it's undeniable. You will always be your own person. There's no way of not being you, even in the slightest. But I do feel like there's a lot of people who stray very, very far off of their authentic self. Very often not even knowing what authenticity means and what it is to them. Basically, very often this is indeed due to either like just beauty standards or like general standards of the way that you act. For example, if you have basically all societies, a society of homophobia, transphobia, racism, like being true and proud of who you are, like it is a privilege in a way, and it doesn't per se need to be a privilege, but it's really it takes a lot of effort. It doesn't just go, very often it doesn't just get handed to you. And very often the reason, the way that these things make this impact on you, that you stray from your own authenticity, that you stray from who you are as a person, is very often due to the projection of others. And we will touch later on, like after this, a little bit more on what projection exactly entails, in my opinion and in my experience. But like authority figures, so for example, like your parents or friends that you look up, well, it's not per se an authority figure, but somebody that you look up to, so a friend, or like maybe authority figures like your teachers or that type of stuff, they have their own limiting beliefs. I have lavender tea. But most often our own insecurities are a projection of somebody else's insecurities, and now we are projecting these insecurities along to new generations. So for example, like, well, we're these evolutionary well, not even quote unquote, we're evolutionary creatures. We strive to evolve in a way, and in any way that is possible. And when we start believing that something is good and something is not, then we start to strive towards the quote-unquote good of the situation. But the thing is, this good is subjective, it's relative. There's no security to the knowledge of goodness or bad. Like, for example, something that I see is this constant expectation of it was decorative, but it's not sticking. Is this constant expectation of success. What the fuck, like, what does success even entail, you know? Like, what, like, success is so subjective and so relative. Like, you could feel success, I guess, in the concept of, oh, you're a billionaire and you're famous and you're all these things, then yeah, sure, you're successful. But do you feel successful? That's, like, because that even doesn't have to mean that you're successful. Like, because I feel like that that really goes back to the self. Like, what makes you feel fulfilled, the fulfillment. I feel like you could experience success in many different forms. You could feel success in living a low-income life, but like spending all your time like working for the betterment of society or that type of stuff, being an activist. Like, that could be hella successful. You could be a gamer who stays at home and just feels relaxed and feels fulfilled in that way. You're successful. Like, you could be so many things. You could live in a community and you just become part of the community, or just live there, and if you're fulfilled, you're successful. And I feel like that is one really toxic cycle and projection that keeps being pushed upon people. Like, for example, I struggle with this a lot, the concept of I need to be successful or otherwise it feels legit like I'm worthless if I'm not successful. So why am I not good enough just being alive, you know? Just me being a living creature is not enough. So, and that's where it really starts to mess up, but we're not going to focus on that. And that was just an example, but I do think it's interesting, and also for yourself, think about it. What are you striving for, and is it even healthy to strive for these things? Like, or are you killing yourself doing it? Like, burnout is extremely scary. So yeah, okay. Projection. I think it's extremely interesting, because I do think it's the core of this whole battle of inauthenticity and straying from yourself. The constant, like, for example, people are like, okay, no, you can't be gay. Being gay is bad. And then if somebody is gay, the thing is, then they, so Papa says that, and then projects that onto you. So you start believing, oh, I could never be gay, because otherwise I would be disgusting, I would be bad. And I want daddy to love me, you know, because we all want our parents to love us. That's, I feel like, of course, there probably are some misconceptions, and I feel like at a certain age you do become your own person, and you feel less reliant on it. Or you have a very toxic relationship with your parents, for example. Whatever, in many ways, of course, but very often you do want that validation, because I do feel like most of us humans are like, we look for validation because we want to feel like we're doing a good job, you know? So I guess that's also a very important part to this whole ordeal. So, but then they start to believe being gay is a bad thing. And obviously I hope most of us realize that being gay isn't a bad thing. Being gay happens. If it was like, it happens and it's made out of love. I'm not gonna start that fight here, because it's like, that's a never-ending thing. But I'm gonna put it in this video as a fact, because it is a fact, and if you disagree, then that is your problem. Just saying. But then they start to project, okay, so being gay is bad, and I'm not allowed to be gay, so then you can't be gay either, you know? And very often, if there are insecurities about it, am I gay? Am I gay? Do I like people of the same sex? And you're being told that it's bad, you start hating yourself. You start being so aggressive towards yourself, because you're like, no, disgusting, I could never be gay. And then you start projecting, and like, but that is my whole theory about why homophobia becomes so extremely aggressive, is truly like, the thing like of like, if you're homophobic, you're probably gay. Like, that's from Alex, on YouTube. But I do think so. Like I do, of course, not if you're homophobic, you're gay. But like, if you're extremely aggressive in your homophobia, very often they are homosexuals. There's a reason why people are so mad. And now here's another example, so you can relate a little better. Basically, so you experience somebody and they're very conscious about noses. They're very conscious about noses. Like, oh, it's an ugly nose. Like, why would they be so conscious about noses? Why would they care so much about noses? It's because they are very conscious about their own nose. They're very insecure about their own nose. Like, even if you would think it's a pretty nose, or like if it's an ugly nose, like, it really doesn't matter because that's your opinion, that's your projection. They are projecting their own insecurities, so they're gonna be telling other people like, so basically. It's this mirroring effect. Your reality depends out of the beauty of your own nose. So therefore, the way that you treat others in your reality, it's not their reality, because they are experiencing their own relativity of the universe and of reality. But their reality is based upon the fact that, like, a part of it is based upon that they think they're insecure about their nose. So it's part of their consciousness. So basically, what projecting basically represents is the limitation of somebody's reality. So, and that's basically what this plays into. The quote-unquote, you're weird. Am I weird? Or am I just falling out of your standard of existing? Like, am I... so they're insecure. They have a limiting belief. They say, you cannot look this way. You cannot act this way. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. You cannot do this. Like, and this is one thing that I do think I can be certain on. We've all experienced people around us that just seem extremely inauthentic, act only upon what is expected of them in what way they will get judged the least, and then they are also projecting upon other people who are not doing the same thing. And I myself have experienced this a lot, every single day. Every single day if I go outside, this is my basis. People projecting onto me. They look at me, they stop in their tracks, like all that stuff. So am I weird, or am I just falling out of your standard of existing? Do you have a limiting, I get a little aggressive in this because, as I said, I have very much experience in this. There's a limiting consciousness in this belief system, in this way of living, and this is being projected onto you. Even though, and basically this tries to limit your consciousness, your limitations. And that is what we very often are born into. And that's kind of also where the relativity of it comes in, and the difference, eventually you start to internalize these projections that are pushed onto you. So, for example, again, being gay is bad. Okay, being gay is bad. You have an ugly nose. Okay, I have an ugly nose. You blah, 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 blah. There are so many things every single day that are being projected onto you. And when you're young, you're very vulnerable. You're still learning about the world. So when somebody says being gay is bad, you're like, oh, okay, being gay is bad, period. Like, what else are you supposed to think, you know? But if you grow up in a household, in a certain culture and in a neighborhood where people do not say those things. They say, oh, being who you are is amazing. We love individuality. Being true to yourself is important. Then you start to think like, oh, I think I might be gay, and then you think, oh, and that's okay. So this is really, I guess, the intro, and it's a little bit of a long intro, but we all project, and this is still something that, like, I'm projecting onto you in this video. I'm pressing my opinions onto you. I am pressing my views onto you, and I think it's very, because projection doesn't have to be bad. Projection can be something healthy as well, and I think the most important thing is to just become conscious about projection, and become conscious about the fact that you are a source of projection, and that people may be looking up to you, so that you might have an influence on people. For example, as a parent, this is extremely, extremely important. If you want to be a parent, or you are a parent, so make sure that you realize the influence that you have on a person, and that you have a way of looking within to see what you should be projecting onto your child. Because, for example, a projection could as well be, and that's kind of, for example, somewhat of a message that I want to be spreading in this video is dare to be more authentic. Be more authentic. I feel like that is something that we can all gain happiness and personal fulfillment out of. But saying be kind to yourself, loving yourself is valuable, use positive affirmations, like these are projections that could do you very well. Yeah, just be conscious about the way that you project. And now, as we begin to understand the concept of projection and the internalization of these projections, we start to see the root of where this inauthenticity and this straying from your true self comes from. It's the pain and the disapproval that comes from society, the projections from others that you are trying to save yourself from, in a way. So it makes a lot of sense. But this is also, hopefully, the source where you can start to see that a lot of growth and personal development can take place, because these are not you. These projections are not you. These are based upon somebody else's opinions, upon somebody else's projections. These do not have to be the reality. These get told to you as if it is a reality. Being gay is bad, and this type of nose is ugly, this kind of blah blah blah. Like, but this is not a fact. You can decide your own facts. Is being gay bad? Do you genuinely think being gay is bad? And of course, that one is a little difficult, because there are like, unlearning these things can also be difficult. Like, if you grew up homophobic all your life and you realize, like, being gay is not bad, but this homophobia is internalized, it can be kind of difficult. But just focus upon that healing. That is the first step, and to try and not project yourself, because you see what it does. But so this is where the question comes in. Do you want to dress the way that you dress? Do you want to, like, I think this is the fun part. You can start to think, what inspires me, you know? So is pink actually my favorite color, or was that always, like, for example, you identify as female, is pink actually my favorite color, or has that always just been projected onto me? Is for example orange my favorite color? I've always felt inspired by orange, but everybody says it's orange is ugly, blah blah blah. But I love orange, for example. Like, start following after that. Start to see what is true to you and what has been authentic to you. And, like, I'm throwing a projection onto you. Individuality is dope. Individuality is amazing. We love to be individual. We love to be authentic in our individuality. Like, and say that, I guess, use that information as well. Like, I am allowed to be an individual. I am allowed to be authentic. I'm allowed to be real. I can stand out. I can be different. Because we have 8 billion people on this planet. God damn it. Like there's 8 billion different possibilities. Be that possibility, and the ones that, yeah, whatever. And something that I still do want to touch on is the reason why inauthenticity can be good. And I feel like this is maybe also the evolutionary reason why we are that way, a part of it, because of course there's many reasons. But there are situations, because I keep coming back on the homosexuality, because I feel like that is something that is really hard. Being true to being queer is truly, it's a battle every single day. Like, if you're watching this and you're homophobic, truly think about the fucking, like, impact that you have on people's life, because this is, okay, for another video. But, like, if you grow up in a homophobic household, for example, to be gay is to be endangered. Your safety obviously comes first, and if you live in a household where being gay is so endangered, like, then it's realistic that you may try to, like, protect yourself in that case. There are also cases where, for example, at school you get bullied a lot. This also causes one to maybe stray from their own authenticity for their own safety. But the most important thing, and the thing that I really hope that you keep in your back pocket, is to hold yourself tight, to hold yourself in your heart, and to wait for the day that that time passes, because it will, and you have control. There are many places where you can just be real. Like, you're not in school forever. You're not in school forever. Like, and there are people out there who will protect you and who will keep you safe and who will cherish you. Like, for example, if you're a gay person, or like you think you might be queer, or anyway LGBTQIA plus, know that there are places for you out there. There are safe spaces, like so many places. And but with all that said, something that I do also wanted to touch on, and if one of these cases is your situation, especially if this is family, or somebody that you love that is super toxic towards the person that you are, because truly, keep in mind, it's truly the thing that really that gets looked over in these situations is these people do not accept you for who you are. They do not see you. They don't know who you are. And is this the type of energy that you want to be involved in? Somebody who does not accept you for who you are, for you, your truth, because that does not mean that you are unacceptable. It means that they are not accepting. So, and that just means that something in that relationship is colliding, but that does not make you a problem. If anything, that makes them the problem, because they're being rude, they're projecting, they're making their issues yours. All you are doing is being true to yourself. You're going within, you're loving, and they're saying no, and they're being hateful. So they're the problem here. You can find many other people that will love you, that do see you for who you are, because you are not a problem. You are amazing, you're powerful. To go from that to what I'm going to talk about now is obviously a little heavy. So do really make sure to hold yourself a little hug. And in any case, do this, because hugging yourself it really does a lot of wonder for you. Like, it can be really cozy, and we deserve it. Sometimes going for this authenticity, it comes with a price. It comes with the price of losing the people who do not accept us for who we are. But this is a price that is hard to pay, but it will be one of the best things you've ever bought. Like, it just hurts so much to not be accepted, to not feel, because if they're part of your reality, it turns into your reality that you are not acceptable. But that has nothing to do with you. It's their projection, it's their reality that they are pushing onto you. You can have a different reality. A reality doesn't need to be yours, and it doesn't need to be true, because it's not. It's relative, it's an opinion, it's subjective. It's a heavy price to pay, because these are very often people that we love, especially in family and close friends, for example, like I said before. These are people that we love, and to let them go is really tough and really painful. But once you let go, you can start to embrace, because you do not have somebody kicking you to the curb every single time you do. Like could you imagine? Like, it's so powerful. And if this is just generally, this is something that helped me a lot, because I have had the privilege where, for the most part, I could be pretty true to who I was, and I was accepted, like not always cherished, but accepted in my household. And in school things were okay. People were judgmental as hell, but things were okay, and I was never brutally bullied for who I was. But something that does stay really true is that I was scared of the friends that I had, the acquaintances, the generally people that we meet, that if I was more true to myself, listened more to what I needed and what I loved, that I would be losing people, and that I would feel sad about that, because I did not want to lose people. I wanted to spread love and be loved and do all those things. The thing is, if these people fall off of your path, off of your trajectory, I don't know if that's the right word, I hope you know what I mean, off of your life path, because you're being authentic and real to yourself, then think with me here. What does that mean? If somebody falls off of your path because you are being you, I would say that means that this person does not belong on your path. They do not fit with who you are, otherwise they would have stayed. If you're true to who you are and they stick, That's the most powerful connections right there, because they belong with you. They are authentic to you. If they fall off, period, let them fall off, because they'll find their own source again, and they'll remember you, you'll remember them, and it'll be loving, blah 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 blah, or hateful, whatever you want it to be. And something else important to remember is that when these people fall off of our path, we, with the concept of the monkey sphere, make room for the people that genuinely fit with us. So all you're doing is you're creating space for more authentic and healthy people. But you'll finally follow the path towards your truth and your life. And the thing is, if everybody falls off of your path in that time, that just means that nobody in your life was supposed to be with who you are, that none of them fit with who you are as an individual. But please remember that there are 8 billion people on this planet, and you have a lot of time, and you're going very many places. You're going to go study there, and go to the supermarkets there, and go to therapy there, like do all these different things. You're going to meet more people. It's 222 right now, so that actually speaks about meeting new people. So maybe that is a sign if you've been wanting to meet new people, who knows. And always remember that my channel is a complete safe space for literally everybody. You can be who you are. Of course, I have my own little safeties, like for example homophobia, transphobia, racism, misogyny, like sexism, like I don't know which ones I named because ADHD, ableism, all those things not welcome on this channel. Still, if you are those things, please see that you can grow and that you can heal, and that these are things that you can learn from, because these are limiting beliefs that we can all let go, because that's basically what this is about, letting go of limiting beliefs and growing into more authentic self. But yeah, use my comment section and as a place to be, and know that social media is a very safe place for it can be. Please, and do not go to Twitter. Don't go to Twitter, or Reddit. I think Reddit is also kind of heavy. Yeah, but you'll eventually be able to make your own authentic individual opinions, decisions. Like, you can move somewhere by yourself with certain friends. You can decide who you have your sexual relations with. You can decide who you have romantic relationships with. You can decide what type of relationships that you have, if you even have sex, because asexuality, like a romance, like go explore, go see what you are, and accept, be true to yourself, and every single time just affirm to yourself, I can be that, I can be me, I can love that color, I can be asexual, I can be pansexual, I can be straight even, because I feel like some people even have an issue with being heterosexual. So basically, what I wrote down next to get into is basically, this is kind of where it starts to become a little bit shadow worky, and you might have heard this concept before, and it's not as hard as it sounds, out of my experience. It can be a little heavy, a little rough, but it's not a hard practice. It's just like, to go inwards can be a little scary sometimes. But basically, this is basically about starting to understand what is your energy and what is not yours. So, and I hope we understand by now what I mean, and if not, like, basically the projection is somebody else's energy. So for example, I as a basis would have thought that my nose was perfect, but then I have somebody else that says, ew, blah blah blah, nose are ugly, blah blah blah, then I'm gonna think nose are ugly. So that energy is not mine. That's not my authentic energy. So basically, you start to see, like, what is your energy and what is somebody else's energy, and to kind of and once you see okay, this is my opinion, then to start seeing, you start to see, like, you can start thinking, why do I feel this way? Because very often maybe we can even still think that something is authentic to ourselves, because that is just like sometimes the projection is so deeply ingrained, because it's been said so many times, it's so basic in society that we believe it to be authentic to ourselves, but it's still a projection. So that's kind of where the shadow work part comes into play, is to start feeling, okay, why do I feel this way? So for example, let's get back to the color pink. I love the color pink. Why do I love the color pink? Very often, even then, the first thought that comes up is because mama loves it. So, and then you already start to see, oh, whoa, I've been thinking that pink is my favorite color, but it's my mom's favorite color. Or maybe the first thing is, oh, it's pretty. Why do I think it's pretty? And then then suddenly the thing comes up. So it's basically, you keep asking. So for example, then it's like, oh, because all my girlfriends always wear pink to school, and I think they're cool, and I think they're pretty, so therefore I think pink is pretty. And then you can start thinking, why do I think they're pretty? Oh, it's because it's the beauty standard of the boys. So it's a projection again, and that's kind of where you start to dig deeper. But it could also be, why do I think the color pink is pretty? Because it's beautiful. Why do I think it's beautiful? Because it inspires me. Why does it inspire me? It reminds me of roses and all these things, and then you can start thinking, oh, okay, it's like, this is just authentic to me. I love the way that this makes me feel. Okay, do we understand that? And the best thing to make sure that you know, so you can always go back and read it back, is journaling. So writing down what it is that you're that you've gone through. So either downloading a journaling app, or just legit using the notes app on your phone, or legit buying a notebook and just doing it in there. And of course, always know that authenticity is completely relative and completely subjective. It's just you. What do you want? So for example, my form of authenticity is me. It's Rafael. It's what I love, what I endear, and even it's even authentic to me that I think authenticity is important. You could even authentically think that authenticity is not that important. Like, even that is something that you can have your own opinion about. So it's just, basically what I just want to do with this video is to make you feel more empowered in having your own opinions, and being more individual, and daring to make your own decisions. Because it's even possible, authenticity doesn't just come authenticity doesn't just come in expression, for example, or in opinions or that type of stuff. It's also in the way that we act. It's the way that we think, the way that we have opinions, all these things. Like, I might have just repeated something, do not mind me. And it's also important to just see that you can be enough reason to believe in what you believe in. So for example, I've thought that I've been burnt out for a couple of years now, and every single time that I've tried to ask for help in this situation, people would gaslight me and tell me it's not true. I could not be burnt out. Burnout is not for people my age. I don't know what it's like to be burnt out. Eventually, I start to internalize these misconceptions and these limiting beliefs. But I myself should have been enough reason for myself to see, I'm not okay, I don't feel healthy, maybe I should like listen to this. Even if my parents don't, I should listen to this because I'm not okay. But it took me, I would say, oh, butterfly, pretty. It took me 5 years to get to the point where I can listen to myself authentically and say, I'm not doing well and I need to get help. And now I'm getting the help, and I did a test on Google, and it literally said, like, it can never be for self-diagnosing, but it's literally said, extreme high chance of burnout, please get help immediately. And I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been like, and that's kind of, you yourself should be enough reason to believe in what you believe in. You are okay. You can be strong, and it can create a distance between you and other people. But I guess then that's just not too important. And something that I have touched on so far that I would like to touch on a little bit more, or just in general even, is that I do believe that I do still really believe in kindness. And this is me I'm gonna be projecting onto you now. I do really believe that to be a people pleaser, of course, is a little unhealthy, but do not go out there purposefully fucking hating people and kicking people to the curb and being mean because it feels authentic. And I said that being authentic is a good thing. Like, please just be kind and be positive and spread positivity and love yourself and grow and try and spread positivity. Like, do not go kicking people down, okay? Because nobody likes that, and that would be the worst way to interpret this video. Like, even if it's authentic, like, you can write it down in paper and be authentic in that way to your anger, because of course your anger and your hatred can also be divine and can also be healthy, but just do not out it on other people. Try to write it down, and karma will always find the people that deserve it, you know? Like, truly trust that. So this is kind of where the fun part begins. Like, so far I think this is all just like kind of understanding and grasping completely what authenticity is and where it's going wrong and where this could lead us and where the positivity comes. But now it's when you're doing this shadow work and stuff, you can also start to grasp what it is that you do truly like, and then you can start to think, oh wow, what are the things that I've felt inspired by? It instantly makes me feel happy. Like, and please, okay. Like, what are things that you've been neglecting yourself with? Like for example, everybody around you is like, because even the past you can also be a repression of your authenticity. Oh, but I've always loved swimming, but you don't love swimming anymore. Oh, but I've always loved swimming, but you don't love swimming anymore. What do you like now? I want to go rock climbing. Okay, period. Where did that come from? Yeah, it's been inside of me for years now, but I just neglected it or didn't really realize that it existed. For example, for myself, I've always been really into well, I have a talent for visual art, so I've always, like, since very young, I was able to draw quite well. But drawing is not something that I feel a lot of passion for. It's just something that I can do, and I got complimented on it a lot. So I eventually just said, like, okay, I guess I draw. That's my thing. I'll just make art someday, and I'll just do that. And I guess it's still true. Like, even with this video, I'm still doing a lot of visual artistry, and I like to do all these things. But something that I have always, in my heart, loved so much, but I feel I have less talent for, but oh, it just makes me so happy and so excited about life, is music. But I've always felt so limited, but I've always had this inside voice saying, oh, I love singing so much. Oh, I would love to play an instrument. Like, all these things, but I just kept, like, putting it away because I was like, that's not my thing. I cannot do that. Like, music is not for me. But then in that time, everything is possible. No, everything. You as an individual, you can make everything possible. Even if you're 60 years old, you're completely set in your ways. Even then, everything is possible. You can even change completely as a fucking individual if that's what feels individually authentic to you. And now I know how to play the guitar. Basically, like, I'm not extremely good, but I know how to play the guitar, and I can write songs with the guitar. I play piano, not entirely super well, but I play the piano and I can write songs, and I write music and I can sing pretty well. So I'm like, and I did that. Like, and a couple of years ago, I had no idea. I'd never touched a guitar before. Well, I had touched a guitar before. I've had, like, music in school and stuff, but yeah. So start thinking, have you always had that inside voice, like, oh, I would love swimming so much, but for some reason you just, like, don't accept that for yourself? Do you see this mark here? This is because of the fucking, there were little freckles here. That's so sad. Okay, so here's your assignment from this video. If everything was possible, what would you do? What would you become? Where would you live if everything was possible? Money and all these projections are not important, you know. Your wildest dreams, you have all the money, you can breathe in space, you can everything is possible. Where would you be? What would you be? Would you be Rihanna? Would you walk on would you walk on the moon? Or would you become a super highly educated doctor? Would you become a psychologist? Like even if you believe this not to be possible due to financial stuff or something, everything is possible. If you have all those finances, you know, what would you do? That's your assignment.
And then the next step would be to actually kind of start to follow after those dreams, no matter how unrealistic it may seem, because you'll thank yourself one day. You have dreams for a reason, baby.
And journal about that, and just think about it. And something else, I think this is important. I'm gonna just completely go through this. As you go through all those things, do I genuinely want this job? Am I inspired by this lifestyle, or is it an expectation? Do I love this color, or is that someone else's favorite color I internalized? Do I actually want to behave this way, or am I masking to comfort others? For example, a lot of neurodivergent people are very good actors because it's what we do. It's to realize we can also take off the mask at times and relax. See that that's allowed. That there are people who can be with you without having to mask. That you are good as you are, and that you are allowed to be you. I think that was just an important message that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so basically I think I've said almost everything that I wanted to say. I'm sure that I've skipped over a couple things that are important to me in authenticity, and I could even see myself like in the future maybe like touching on this more, because I do think it's very interesting and I would maybe even like to make it a series sometime. I think I've said everything, and let me know if there's anything that you would add to this, because I do think authenticity is extremely relative and subjective, and I feel like there's many, like of course there are certain facts to authenticity because it is just a factual word that we use, but the way that we experience authenticity is very strange, because I experience it in my way and I put it very much into expression and in feelings and in those type things, but there are many people who authentically just do not care about expressing, like they would like to be internal a lot more, but for example, or are expected to be more external, like, but they do not want to. So yeah, just really feel you in it and feel true in it, and just also see that your authenticity will be ever changing. Like a couple weeks ago I loved this type of clothing, and then today I'm not interested and I do not feel inspired by it anymore, and that's fine. So then I just adapt on that, and that's my new authenticity. Authenticity is not a fact, it's ever changing, it's ever shifting. And to keep that in mind and to just be safe with yourself, to allow yourself to take on that dance, to take on that wave. So yeah, be safe with yourself, and evolve. Go journal, go write down what you think, go do some shadow work. Why do I like this? Is this me? Yeah, that's the video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you especially got from this that self-love is extremely valuable, and that you are allowed to express self-love and to be listened to, and if nobody wants to listen to you, you are also a person that can listen to you. You are an individual, one of your relationships as itself. So take advantage of that, listen to yourself and love yourself. This is the video. I love you guys. Please take care. I hope this video wasn't too chaotic and that you genuinely learned something new, because I really wanted to put my love into it, but with my ADHD and just chaotic energy, I went all over the place. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more of me, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like and leave a comment if you whatever, like you would just want to let something know, or you have an opinion, or yeah, you want to say something. That's always welcome. Know that my channel is always a safe space for everybody out there, and yeah, I love you. Ciao, take care, and I'll see you in the next video, maybe. Bye bye. Ciao.